Well, I started without you, but it was kind of good that you didn't catch me on film because I put it down before I was ready. And I did rip just a little bit. Anywho. Okay, so what I did is I took some of my 1 inch, half inch, quarter inch, eighth of an inch even will work. Maybe 2/8 of an inches. But I took my inch and I put it around, all around the bottom, the back, the sides, and a little bit into the front on the bottom of the box. And then I did the same thing on the top of the box, the sides and the back. So that, and then I used Fabri-Tac or any paper glue in between those so that you get good adherence. I thought I was videotaping, and I just looked up to make sure that that everything was going fine, and I didn't have either one of you on. I guess I just thought I did. And then, you know, give it a good burnish. Make sure that the tape as well as the glue is all doing fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take off this side. And I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on here. Okay. There we go. Sometimes that can be strong. All right. So now we're just going to push this around just right across. There we go. This is really a very easy method of doing this. Just make sure it's burnished well. And then we're going to put glue where the paper is going to fold over this way. I still have some double-sided tape on the bottom, so just going to put a little bit of glue. And then just follow it around. And I'm just kind of giving it a little bend up past the box in the paper, so it'll help adhere it. You can also get yourself a little clip, especially on this side, you know, well, really only on that side. And then you're going to let that dry, and then we can do the same thing to this side. We're going to put glue at the fold. And then glue everywhere there's not tape. All right. And we're just going to stuck my finger right in the glue. And we're just going to do the same thing. Now, I had already kind of folded the paper around the box prior to putting the tape on, so it has had a little bit of practice, so to speak, of bending around my box. And I left approximately an inch up at the top. I also left the scan bar on, just so I had a little bit more paper to work with. There we go. Looking good. Okay. See, that glue is still not catching everywhere there, but when you got this gore tape, the only thing is you got to be careful. Don't do what I did. Put it down and realize your paper was upside down. I didn't put it down. I just it touched, and then when it lifted it up, I noticed that the paper was upside down. It's like, oh. So then I had to rip it off. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but I saved it. So just got to take your time. Just take your time. And, a different way that you can do it is just put the glue on the paper. Just kind of don't put it where the tape goes because you don't need it. And I think it kind of takes away from what the tape can do. Okay, and then we're going to, just like we always do, kind of work it around. And I'm going to get another one of these guys. Come on. There we go. Okay. Now if we start with the easiest one first, that's going to be the underneath. Okay, so as you start to look at it, you can do it just like a package. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. You can fold the edge in and get a fold just like a package and turn it just like that. Doesn't really matter because there's going to be another piece of paper put over. Or even possibly you could put felt on the bottom. A lot of times nice boxes have felt on the bottom so that it's not going to mess around with your other items. I mean, it's not going to mess. I'm sorry, all of a sudden I've got something in my eye. So that it's not going to mess up your pretty tabletop or, shelving or whatever. Okay, so you could do that or you could cut. I think either way you're still going to have to cut. This does add a bit of bulk. Let's see. Let's see what it ends up looking like because I think we can still go back. Push that paper down in the corner. Get a nice fold. And then I'm going to push this part down. I'm not putting any glue, anything yet. Just seeing if I think I'm going to like doing it this way. I mean, why not, Let's give it the old Jolly Roger and see what we think. Just make sure you get a nice fold. And then fold that over. And fold that over. I honestly don't have a problem with that at all. It makes for some very nice corners on the bottom. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. So let me go ahead and glue this. So the first ones I'm going to put down are these little ends here. But I'm pretty much going to glue everything. Just get it all over everything. The Fabri-Tac does not dry fast. I mean, it dries pretty well. It tacks it. It does grab it and hold it, but you can maneuver for a little bit longer than you can, most other glues. Okay. So now I'm going to pull this one down first. Make sure I'm getting a nice, if I need to redo my fold a little bit there, I think. And the fact that I have glue everywhere is helping me to get some nice points on my paper. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to pull this side in. Push it all the way. And then get a nice edge. And if it helps, do it like this. Yeah, come here. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to put glue on these pieces that we just made. We can put a little bit more glue here because it is drying up a bit. Okay, so while this one's still wet, let's push it down. I'm just making sure my corners are nice. And this is going to add some much needed strength to the bottom. Because remember, I think I am going to put these up on feet. So you are going to want your bottom to have a few layers to it, just to make it feel fairly substantial. Very nice. Yeah. Super easy, right? Just make sure that we got it all grabbing. We are. Yeah, now I'm paranoid, so I'm checking, making sure. Okay. Now the top is going to be a bit different. Let's see. So we can totally pull these around. Yeah, see, that's not going to make it very pretty. Not going to be pretty, and it's on the top. So I think we can take these off. I think these are caught and dried. So there we go. Okay. I'm going to keep those out just in case. So now I'm going to want to bring this down on the back, and I want to make sure that I'm covering all of the edges. So if I cut the paper, I want to make sure that this point where the side and the back that's covered in black gets covered with this decorative paper. So I'm thinking that I need to not cut it squared, you know, right down against into the corner. I'm thinking I'm going to cut a little bit past the corner so that I have some extra that I'm pulling down over the corner. And then I will have this to come straight down. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to see how well, let's see, if I pull this, yeah, see, that's going to get that corner very well, and then that'll come straight down. Okay, so we're good there. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm basically you got your paper from the corner straight up. I'm basically cutting to the outside of that line by like a 32nd of an inch or something, just so I have enough that's just going to kind of lay over that corner. Alrighty then, so I'm going to go ahead, let me do it this way, I think you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and put the glue down along the edge, and I do want to get some glue on the corner, and then go ahead and glue my paper. Okay, and we're just going to move that around, and once it kind of catches, I'll get my teeny bit of splitting, but not bad. Okay. So now, can you see, let's see, can you see where my corner is kind of overlaid? Just enough where the corner is covered, so when I come straight down with this, my corner is all covered and you don't see any black. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now we're going to have to think, once I bring this down, what am I going to do to be able to cover all of this? So I think I'm going to do a V. I'm going to hold it like this, and I'm going to come at it, and again, I want the same thing. I want to make sure that this black is covered. So I'm going to come just towards me a little bit, like 1/32 past and I'm only cutting up to this edge. I'm not cutting past it to this edge. So that will take care of that, and it will get that corner cut perfectly. And then I just want to take off a little bit of excess and start with a little triangle like that if you need to do, oh, there we go. Start off with a little triangle like that, and if you need to do more, there's the little triangle. Okay? Alright, so let's glue this. Again, I'm going to get into my corner, and I'm putting glue on that corner and down onto the paper that's down that side. So I want to make sure that that is going to stay right there. And then I'm putting it all the way on the edge of the chipboard box, and then all of the paper. And we're just going to fold this over, pushing, and then I ended up with a lot squirting out, so let me get that. Here it is. There we go. There we go. We're going to continue because we still have some wet stuff right at the corner, so we're just going to continue going down. Now here, I, start folding this in, but I don't know what we're going to have. So here, you see how I've got this is ready. This is folded down, and this is still sitting here. So now, and I still want this corner, I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to cut at an angle, but I am going to cut to this side of the corner, because I want, again, I want that corner to get covered. And I'm going to pick these back up, and I'm going to put glue. I'm trying to make it where you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put glue on the corner, down, on the corner, and over across where it's coming on the front of the box. And then let's go ahead, because that little piece that I might be able to save is really not going to do much for me. And I might be able to do less. I'm going to pull this back because I think I'm going to do this part first. Okay, and let's give a little bit of notice to your corner there. And then let's go ahead and push this down. And there we go. Now we have a very finished, pretty corner. Okay, so that's, you always want to think about how you can cut it to make sure that your corner is going to get covered. All right, so again, now I have to remember what I just did. So this comes down, and I'm going to take a little bit. Okay, let me get you a little closer. Excuse me. So I can show you. So you've kind of seen it. Now I'm going to give it to you a little closer up. I just have to make sure I stay in camera. That's the hard part. Okay, so as you can see, I have the corner is completely covered. I'm going to come here. Am I still in? Yes. And I'm going to cut just beyond, not too much, but just beyond this corner where this piece and this, well, they're not pieces, but where these two sides come together. You're going to go just past this side of that little tip. And then that will fold over, and that will get the corner covered completely. Okay? Then I'm going to take a little bit of a triangle out, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Do it slowly. Okay, so now that I have this part folded, I can come in here. Where are you there? And I can pull this back out because I did make a crease on it, but I think I'll leave it this way. It's a little easier to see. So the corner, I want to come in just a little bit. And I'm just going to cut to the top of the box edge on the front. If I can get my scissors back in there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put glue on my corner, and then I'm going to put it right down the edge, back on the corner, go ahead and right down the edge, all across the corner and right down the edge. And then we're going to go ahead and get glue on this piece. Whoops. And bring it around. And this is where you're going to get your burnishing tool. And you're also going to make sure that that's doing well on your corner. Get it folded around that corner just like you do on your books. So now we're going to put some glue on that corner that we just made, and then all around our paper. Okay, we're going to first check your corner. Make sure you've got it nice, laying down nicely, and that it's still covered. And then go ahead and burnish. Take care of any extra glue. And this is where, you know, really doesn't matter if you get a little extra glue. You're going to, as long as you make sure that you are getting everything covered. And then we're just going to do this little piece. I already have glue on the corner. I'm just putting some glue on the piece. And then just rub that down. Okay. And I think that makes for a very nice box. Very nice box. Yes, indeed. And then there's our back. So when we cut this piece, we're actually going to cut it a little bit smaller than this front piece is. So we will have it fold over. So all of this will get covered, and we will have it fold over. So about an inch or so here and an inch or so here. So we're going to make it longer this way to be able to cover everything. Then we will have a lovely covered box, and we'll just have to do the insides. And quite honestly, you know, with the lack of amount of paper I have, it's kind of nice that these, I can just do a strip that'll go right across here. A strip here, a strip right across here, a strip here, and then I will do this bottom part here and the bottom here, but it doesn't necessarily have to be with, you know, with paper like this. I do have, and I wonder, it might even work. This might even work. I have this color box, this old color box pattern paper. And it's a lot of beiges. And I wonder if I have enough of a beige that I could do the inside of the box. Then I would have the whole other piece. There I have polka dot. No, only two of those. Two of those. Maybe there's only two of these, and I thought there was more. Let's see, what does it say? Oh yeah, 50 papers, 25 patterns. So there's only two of each. So I would find two that look somewhat similar. Somewhat similar. So that looks kind of nice. Let's see, is there another one kind of like this one? Well, really not. Really not. Okay, so I like the polka dots. So I got two of those. It's nice to use some of these old things up. Huh. Well, come on, oh, look at that. Oh, thank you. This has got some polka dots on it too, so we'll do those two. And I think that will be plenty to cover all of this. Okay, so now that was the entire 2 sheets. So we still have this front to cover. Now we could put something from our book on here, but I think we will just stick with, because like I said, I was lucky enough to have 3 of these. So I could do like, you know, something like this. I have those birds on there, which would be perfect. And that would give me enough to fold down and enough to fold down. So that would be just the right cut right there. So I am going to go ahead and put this here and get my pencil out, put a little mark where I want to cut. Okay, and then I want to have these birds in the front. So I'm going to go over about 1 inch and make my mark here. So let me cut that. Oh, I got the hiccups. Let me cut this. And I'm only going to cut what I need. Okay, where is my mark? Right there. Oops, I need my thing this side. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's my mark. Is that a pencil mark? Or is that just on the... Oh, there it is. I was looking in the right vicinity, but I wasn't looking at the correct line. Okay. So over to about here. I got to take this barcode piece off so that I can cut the long side. Alrighty. Get this lined up. There we go. So, see, I just cut out what I needed. All right. Now, I got to remember that this is live glue. But I want to make sure that I have my birds on. So, I am going to go ahead and glue almost everything. I guess I'll glue everything since I went down there. There we go. And I still have you guys on close up. I do apologize. I forgot to move you. Here we go. So you may not have seen the birds I was talking about, but I want these birds. And I could have made it a little wider. I cut it down just a teeny bit too. I want to bring it down a little bit more. Okay. Get that to catch and fold that down. And then I'm going to kind of pull, and I'm really giving that the what for. Okay, so there we have our whole box, outside of our box covered, and I'm loving it. I think it is really, really spoofy. Okay, so, and I have that much more paper to work into the mini album and the other thing we're making, the journal. Yay! Oh, good Lord, guys. You are just so lovely to keep me around. I don't know why you do it. I don't know why you do it. So let's see if we were to keep this. No, it would not be. Okay, first off, I'm going to put this. Yes, I'm thinking. And I do hum or mumble or whatever when I'm thinking. I'm thinking I definitely want this to be folded on the bottom. Or do I? If I did the bottom first and pulled it up to the sides, then all of these could just go down to right there. To right there. Yeah. Then everything would look nice and neat. So let's take this and flip it over. Yay. And let's go, you know, about an inch. I'm just feeling it. We can lay it down this way. Let me pull you back out so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. Oh, maybe that's, there. All right. So I am leaving about an inch, you know, 3/4 of an inch, something like that, all the way around. So make a mark. Make a mark here. So I leave about 3 inches there, 3/4 to an inch there, and then 3/4 to an inch there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. This is A4 papers. And I have to go and feed my dogs pretty soon. They're going to be getting hungry. Okay. Oops. Then I should be able to, I'm going to flip this over. Should be able to come up with a close okay. So can you see where I have made these little boxes? So all I'm going to do is cut down to where the fold mark is. And I'm just cutting right down the center. See, I'm just cutting right down to the center of where that fold line is. Or close to the center, let's see. Yeah, that's the center. Okay. So that's just going to give us a starting point. I doubt very seriously that the first time I do this, it's going to go and just snug right in there. Wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah, I can already tell it's much, much bigger. Okay. So let's get this first part down in here. Pull this around. Just slowly work it down into your corners. And I can see that I'm going to have to cut more. Let's get a good line. Okay, pull it back out. Okay. So we're going to I want to see if I fold these where pretty sure I had a nice edge, if this is going to fit in there sideways. Okay, so it does. And is it giving me, yes, and I'm going right to the edge. So now I want it to go up both sides. It doesn't matter if one side's a little higher than the other. I just want to keep them relatively straight and use my fingernail and find the corners and just kind of run my fingernail along there so that I can get a good fold. Okay. So it wasn't too far off. And with those little items cut, if you need to cut a little bit more to get to the fold line, like this side definitely is going to need to get cut again. Okay. There we go. And then they can just fold down along here, like that. All right. Isn't that nice? Just fits in there like a glove now. See, so a little bit of fiddly work, and then you're good to go. So, I am going to, my dogs, I feel like I am just coated in hair. My dogs are shedding so badly. And I got the shedding blade out. I'm just going to do 2 of these, and I'm doing them kind of quickly because I still want them to be wet. So I know that I've got enough folded in. So it makes a nice tight. There we go. So that one's good. So we're just kind of folding these little corners up. Okay. So that should fit right down in there and be beautiful. Okay, so now I'm just going to put glue all over the edges. And I'm going to have to move fairly quickly. And it doesn't really matter how messy the sides look. You know, like this one, the folded up side is higher than the other, because it's all going to get Oh, and then I want to put some down in the bottom here. Sorry, I'm totally covering up what I'm doing with my paper. Okay, so we're going to let this slide down in there best we can. Get it down. Okay, so now when the other paper goes straight down to the bottom, we're going to look very finished. All right. Okay, so these will go just down to the bottom. We can start in one corner. Go to the other corner. We might end up with just enough to do this thing, because then I have this little strip which we'll do down in here. Good job, people, good job. And then I want to bring this down just below the top edge. Okay, just below the top edge, and add a 1/2 inch after that. So wherever it's at, it's like 8 3/4. So I'm gonna make it 9 inches, 9 1/4 inches. So I'm cutting this 9 1/4 inches. Okay, I originally had it this way, I think. How did I have it? Nope, I was right. I had it this way. So now I want to get I was just thinking how I could make it a little nicer on the top. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch, because that's what I added, and I lost my camera. There we go. Okay, so I took a 1/2 inch, and I'm folding it over. Let's go ahead and glue that. See, what am I at, 49? That's very good. Let's go ahead and get this glued down. So that's going to give us a nice top. And I'm going to glue down the one side. So I'm going to put glue to the fold that I've made. And let's get glue all over it, especially, you know, around the edges. So get this in here. Bring it right into the corner. Good job. Good job, Lisa. I'm sitting here telling myself I'm doing such a good job. Okay. And then I'm going to get my bone folder in here. And I'm just going to work this down into the corners. I have got to, there we go. Just work that right down into the corners. Beautiful. Okay. So now we can just fold that down and put the rest of our glue in. Let's make sure we're going to get it right down in that corner and along the bottom and the sides for sure. Top side. And yet again, this is another layer to our box. Can you see what I'm trying to... It's kind of hard to maneuver these things so you can see what I'm doing. Ah! Poodle head. Be careful. I just ripped it. So you have to be very careful, especially the thinner paper you have. But I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad. I will have to put another little sheet in there. That's all right. We can fix it. We can fix it. We can fix it. Not a problem. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with this side. And quite honestly, had I thought about it, we would have cut them both at the same time because I wanted them to both be exactly the same. So, if you haven't done this yet, make sure that when you cut these that you're cutting them both at the same time. Okay, I am going to take the stub from my first one and attach it and use this as my cut line. So, make sure I am in line. Put that up. Okay, so needs to come forward, and there we go. Voila! Both the same. Then take the top and let's do a 1/2 inch. Glue across this 1/2 inch. There we go. Okay, so I could actually just do this again, but this time I need to make sure that I'm really getting it into that corner so that I don't split it again. So I'm holding this paper. I want it to be right on the top of the other piece. And then it looks like by moving this back just a little bit that I will be able to cover. I'm sorry you can't see what I'm doing, but I am literally trying to gently push this into place. So that I am not out of the center. So now I'm going to flip this back I've got it right where I want it, so I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm going to put this down in the corner. I just kind of pulled the paper back a little bit and got the glue spout down in the corner. Make sure you're getting it at the same height. Okay, so there's that one. And now this getting it squirted down there in that corner best I can, all around the edges. Across the bottom. Now this one, remember, this piece is going all across the back, and it's fixing to go into that other edge where I tore the paper. So then everything will be covered. And it's still just the A4 piece of paper. I haven't cut anything but the top. The side is still the whole sheet, which I think is 11 5/8. And that is not lining up with the top. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's that. And then, so that's my two of those. Where's my pieces left over? Nope. Here we go. I do have the hole there. And no, it's not going to be large enough to cover everything. So we will just cut what we're going to need here. We're just going to butt it up against the other piece. And, okay, so I have it against my other piece, so I have it where it's along the bottom, and I'm going to push it into my corner. All right. Now, let's see, I can grab this piece, hold it here, grab this piece, and hold it here. So now, let's take our pencil, go. All right, so I've just marked how the sides are going to go. And I wish I had enough for 2 pieces, and I don't. I don't. Because that won't be high enough. I actually don't need to do this front if I can get both sides done. I wonder if I fold this, that might do it. Okay, so let's do it this way. I'm going to fold this in half, just like this. There we go. So now it's in half. I need to cut, because it's on the top here, I want it to be down. But if I want to fold the edges like I've been doing, let's see, how much is this going to cover? It's going to cover to there. And then I can do something else that's close on the inside. See, there's always a way, guys. You could totally be doing this in black. I'm just pointing that out to you guys. You could totally be doing this in black. Which would have probably made it a lot easier, but that's okay. You know, it's okay. We're going to be just fine and dandy. Okay, so I'm going to cut this right on the pencil line. And this may give me enough. I don't know. Apparently it's not folded extremely well. Did start out with it, I thought, looking pretty good. Okay. And let me cut this. All right. So this one can go right there. And this one can go right there. Now I just need to fold down. I'm going to make a mark where this is folded. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, so we are going to fold first that fold line down. Let's bring it to line it up along this edge when you bring it down to fold it. Try it again, and that looks very nice. Okay. Then we want to do, I don't know, let's see. This is where that line comes in handy on your scoreboard. You don't hardly use it, but when you do need it, it's so lovely to have. So now you can make it 1/8 of an inch, if we want to do that, where you're just going to bypass and completely cover the next the next indent over. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. And fold. Let's give it a little burnish. Oops. And lay it back down. And it looks like it belongs there. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. It has been a rainy day today, so I have been in my craft room doing stuff. I'm prepping for July. My surgeon called today for this thing that's in my back, and I go the 21st of June. Let me get some glue down here. I go the 21st of June to get all of my surgery testing and stuff done. So that is, you know, your blood work and this and that kind of stuff. And I asked him, I said, how far out are you on planning, you know, and setting up the surgeries? And he said, a week, week and a half. And my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh, great. Oh my gosh. So my daughter and grandson are coming to visit us July 4th. That is my husband's absolutely favorite holiday. He even likes it better than Christmas. It's his favorite holiday, and so he doesn't care how often they come, but they have to come on the 4th of July. So all of the family that's in Florida was like, okay, so we get them Thanksgiving and Christmas as long as you get them on. And we're like, I'm like, no, I would love to have a Christmas. I would love to have, but we'll probably wait until he's a little older and can travel by himself, and we'll come when he gets off school Christmas and be with us for a little while. And then his mom maybe, you know, will come at Christmas time. Or we'll send him home. But that would be so much fun, because Christmas with kids, oh my gosh, there's nothing better than having Christmas with kids. It just, as a kid, you know, you love Christmas and everything that goes along with it. And everybody's usually in a pretty good mood, you know, unless, of course, you're having money problems, and then not. But, so, yeah, it's going to be fun. But anyway, so I told him, I said, well, they're leaving on the 6th, so I can't do it before the 6th. And he goes, that's fine. We'll figure it out. I said, okay. But I don't want to... Okay, hi guys, I'm going into surgery, so I won't see you anymore. No, not going to do that. Not going to do that. You just want to make sure that you are lining up the top. Let the bottoms fall where they may. But you do want to make sure that you're getting the top piece, this top piece, that inner piece is lined up with the other one, okay? So that's what I have so far. We still have this piece here that we're going to have to do, and of course I'm going to put this one down now. Going to do the same thing I'm going to fold this along this edge. Check and make sure. That it's going to work for us. Yes, okay. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go 1/8 of an inch. Where's my, there it is. I think I'm going to use my little stylus. It just works a little bit better on this very fine paper. So there we go. And we're just going to fold that. Okay, one more time, just make sure, you know, what is it, cut twice, measure twice and cut once. So that's what we want to do here. We want to make sure that we're going to line up perfectly with the other sheet that's in here and that everything's going to look nice, and it does. So let's go ahead. My glue is acting up. Let's go ahead and glue this little bits down. I'm almost through with this little bit of Fabri-Tac. This is going to be a long video. Where am I at? 1:12. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, let's go ahead and glue everything. Come on. Yeah, now there's like hardly any in there and it's taking forever. Let's get glue everywhere. Okay. Priority, line your page up. That's your priority. That folding makes such a nice difference. Such a nice difference. It really finishes it off. And the fact that this is thinner paper makes it a lot easier to fold. If you had your cardstock, I don't know that the fold would be as nice looking, you know. Okay, so as far as anybody can see when they're putting the books in, this is done. Right? This is done. Look how pretty that is. I just love it. Just love it. Just love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. So now the only thing I'm going to do is I have this here. Probably gonna, let's see. Is this enough to cover that? And it is. It is. I think I'm just going to have to leave that hole in there because I think if I cut that amount off, it won't cover. Okay. So I've got it down as far as it'll go here. So I want to take a pencil mark. Okay, so I'm going to make a fold line about 1/8 of an inch past the pencil mark. So you put the pencil mark in the groove with the mark in it, and then you go one down below it. There we go. And now I'm going to just give it a cut and leave about 1/2 inch. And hopefully this will cover everything. Okay, a little bit more over this way. So we have there and there. Yep. Yep, it's gonna get it. Right? I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this down. And then our box is basically done. I mean, yes, we're going to do some decorations and things like that, but just getting that box covered is very nice. So if you're doing this and all you have is an 8 by 8 paper pad, you are going to need 4, 5, 6, well, let's see, I used 2, 4, and this is still, so I used 4 sheets of you know, A4 size paper. So you could say you need 4 sheets, 4 12 by 12s, or you could probably get away with 8.5 by 11s because that's basically the A4 size. But it's going to be better if it's more like scrapbook paper than it is like... and I am just inking. I am just putting glue on everything. We're just going to put this, and the Fabri-Tac will leave us time to get it down where we need it. Okay. About in the center. Okay. Sorry that you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just flattening everything out. And the first thing I did, though, is I got the top folded edge where I wanted it. And then I'm just getting everything else down, making sure I've got it. I had enough glue to hold everything down. So there you go. And you can't really even see that the hole was still left in the paper. So there. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. And I'm going to call this quits because it's been a long video. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. We will be working on the journal, I think. I think it's the journal we're still working on. Talk to y'all in a little while. Bye.